Hi there guys, Graham here. Going to be doing a small video on commander that I run. This commander is Syr Konrad the Grim. So the reason I like him, he's quite a versatile card. Has a lot of abilities on him that really kind of work with a mono black deck. Kinda had a bit of fun with him in standard, and then I thought, really like the idea of maybe running this as a commander deck. So he starts off, he's 3 colourless mana plus 2 black mana to cast him. When Conrad or another creature whenever another creature dies or put into a graveyard from anywhere from the battlefield or leaves your graveyard, Syr Konrad deals 1 damage to each opponent. Now he also has the ability at the bottom there, which is pay 1 and a black. Each player puts the top card of their library into their grave. Now I kind of run this deck more of a kind of trying to eventually self-mill myself to win the game. But sometimes it can go off. I've had games where it just certain things happen in it and I'll go along and let you know all about that sort of thing that's happened in the past. How it's fluctuated the game so quickly and we can't get out of this, out of the infinite loop that happens if it goes the way it does. So yeah, it can be quite a kind of annoying card. It can be annoying. I must admit, I've got a lot of friends that play against us and they go, "Oh no, here we go, Conrad again," and I'm like, yeah. But it's really, since I've been playing Magic a year and a half, it's probably one of the most kind of fun and probably the deck that I spent a bit of money on. There is a lot of the cards that are in the deck which obviously through draft and pre-releases, I didn't really I paid the pre-releases and I played the draft, you know, but I got the cards in those, so I didn't really kind of have to fork out a lot of money to be able to build this. But there was like a couple of key cards which I had to pay for, which is fine, you know, it happens, but it's almost slightly better to buy the singles. So that's the Conrad. So in the deck, what I run is snow-covered swamps. Now, with the snow-covered swamps, what happens is that my swamps are then different to everybody else's. So, for talking's sake, because of the wording on the card, it's slightly different for everybody. And I'll show you why. Because the card, as I say, says basic snow land. Now, if I can find another land that yep, there we go. So that's a basic swamp. So basic land swamp, as you notice the wording is different on it. So snow covered swamp at the top here, and this one just says swamp. So yeah, slightly different, and I'll explain that in a bit why that is. So I run 33 of them. Now you may think in a commander deck that's very little. So we'll start off by explaining why we run snow covered swamps. So we have an artifact in our deck which is imprinted. Extra planar lens comes into play. Remove a land and put it underneath it. Lands of that colour and of that card name and type tap for double mana. So what happens is you pay the 3 mana for the card, 3 colourless, then what you do is you put that card under there, and then when it comes round to your next turn, you'll be tapping those lands for 4 mana. So yeah, slightly good card for the deck. Helps with the mana base, so that it doesn't cost you too much to build. So yeah, really good card for the deck. Really helps synergistically with the high mana cost cards. Then, as we go, we have our main win con in the deck. We've got a card called Miss Mary Cobb. So, Miss Mary Cobb, whenever a permanent you control untaps, well, it's actually everybody that this happens to. So, if I had, say, 5 swamps, and they're all tapped, and then I had a creature, and that's tapped. So, however many of these that untap, you mill from the top of your library into your grave, and then obviously the Konrad trigger might happen. So you pay nothing essentially for the Konrad trigger. All you're doing is basically dumping cards into your grave, dumping opponents' cards into their graves. When they untap mana, creatures, artifacts, anything that's on the board that's a permanent that untaps, that then means that person mills their cards into the grave. So you could possibly mill a person out with that card. But what makes the deck go infinite is cards like Basalt Monolith. So with Basalt Monolith, it basically allows you to pay 3 mana to tap it. It doesn't tap until you next untaps until you pay 3 mana into it to untap it. So you tap it and you have to pay 3 mana into it from the lands that you have. But quick trick. Now Basalt Monolith gives you 3 colourless mana as it is. So what you do is you float the 3 mana and untap the card. So then you basically mill yourself out. So that's kind of my goal in the deck. But, you know, we've got things in the game that can stop that from happening. Like split seconds, stuff that destroys artifacts. You know, depending on how it goes, people can, you know, interrupt it. Which is good. But I will go through minor facts of ways that I get that back. But I also run things like a Grafted Exoskeleton. So a Grafted Exoskeleton, if it's attached to Konrad, those triggers that go into the grave from the damage from Konrad will then be infect counters. And then an opponent loses the game by infect. Which, if I'm right in saying infect is 10 damage. If I'm wrong, people can correct me. Once you've got 10 infect, you're out of the game. So it's a quick infect way of winning. But yeah, again, when Grafted Exoskeleton leaves a creature, you have to sacrifice the permanent. So you could lose your commander, but it just goes back to command zone. But any creature that leaves it goes to the graveyard. If Konrad's out, then, you know, it's another creature to the graveyard. Then we have things like the Mind Crank. So whenever an opponent loses life, so whenever any of my opponents lose life, they put the top card of the library in for each life lost this way. So yeah, really good card, very synergistic to Konrad again. So really with Mind Crank, Mrs. Mary Cobb, and the, you know, the Grafted Exoskeleton game can get out of hand. I've seen a game where a friend of mine plays what they call a group hug deck. So he sometimes asks you to pay in to allow you to draw basic lands out your deck for however many mana you spend to allow, say, everybody taps a basic land. So 5 people at the table, we tap, 4 people at the table, we tap a land each. We all get a land, which means, we don't all get a land, we get 4 lands each. So that means that every player at the table gets 4 basic lands. Now, for me, that's really a no-brainer. Pay into it. As I say, I've seen a game where, my very first game I think it was with the deck, where I just maybe put Mindcrank out of the deck, and first time, never seen it, never thought about it, how synergistic it was with the deck, with the Mindcrank, the Mesmericob, and the infinite loop that happened, because we were playing in a pod of 5, so by the time it got around to the third person, everybody had paid in, and we all were able to take 13 lands out our deck, and they came into the battlefield tapped. So when the next person goes to untap, they had to untap the 13 lands plus whatever else they had that was tapped. So then the cycle kind of just spiraled out of control. So yeah, it was a kind of fun game. Didn't last very long, very, very quick. But yeah, it was a fun game. We also run a Helm of the Host. So, Helm of the Host is 4 colorless mana. At the beginning of your upkeep, beginning of your combat, create a token copy of of the creature it's attached to. Now you have to pay 5 to attach it to that creature. The equip cost for it. Now that creature becomes the same creature, but without the legendary status. And it's a token copy, and it gains haste, so you can actually swing out with it. It's really, really good, pretty good in any deck. But yeah, then if the next opponent goes to untap and I've got the Mesmericob and I've got 2 of my Konrads, that's double trigger on the Konrad, and then on the next turn you've got 3 when you go to combat phase, and so forth, depending on how long it takes before people can get rid of it. But yeah, very good card. Then we have the likes of, what else do we have in this deck? Yeah, we've got Codex Shredder. So Codex Shredder is a tap this card. Target player puts the top card of their library into the graveyard. Now that's really good. You know, I could do that to myself, or I could do it to somebody else. And then it also has the ability to pay 5 colourless mana, sacrifice Codex Shredder, and return a target card from your graveyard. So if, for talking sake, one of my cards that were vital to the game was in the grave, then that comes back to my hand. So it's very, very versatile to the game. We also have Altered Dementia. So Altered Dementia, sacrifice a creature equal to that number. Creature's power. So whatever the power is, say it's 4. I sacrifice it, and target player has to mill 4 cards. Really good card. Milling's really good for this deck. So whether it's myself or whether it's an opponent, more Konrad triggers you get, the better. We also have, what else do we have here? So we have, what do we have that's synergistic here? So if I was to swing a Dolem's Gate, so prevents all combat that would be dealt to attacking creatures. So my attacking creatures really don't die as such when I swing out and people block. So it helps prevent damage to me. But yeah, their creatures might go. Then we have an Eldrazi Monument. Creatures you control get a +1/+1, flying and indestructible. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice a creature. So yeah, I sacrifice a creature, or I sacrifice the monument. So yeah, that's really good for me. So it costs 5 mana to cast it. That Dolem's Gate only costs 2 mana, mind you, just as I remember to tell you that. So yeah, it's really good. That's a good card for me in this deck. Then we have for Flux Reservoir. So if we gain 50 life, and then we can shoot somebody for 50 damage, and that player maybe be out the game, or maybe if they've got like a lifelink deck, they can maybe take them down a peg. So it costs 4 mana to come out. Then we have Mask of Memory. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, you may draw 2 cards. If you do, discard. So it costs 1 to attach it. So yeah, it's either a discard for me, or when I draw cards, I discard. So it's really kind of put creatures in the graveyard again. So it's really good for this deck. It's kind of fun card, just a wee bit extra. Then we have another fun card. We have a Bolus Citadel. So yeah, Bolus Citadel may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may cast the top card of your library. Now you can only do this on your turn. You can't do it at instant speed unless you obviously have a deck that's got flash in it. So you, rather than paying the mana cost, you pay life. So instead of paying mana, I basically just tick my life down and draw cards until I get what I need. Well, not draw them, play the cards on the battlefield. But then it also has tap, sacrifice 10 non-land permanents, and each opponent loses 10 life. So it has another good wee kind of bomb effect. Good card, good fun. Then we have Lurch's Mirror. If you would lose a game, instead shuffle this. Oh, sorry, I'll start again here. If you would lose a game, instead shuffle your hand, your graveyard, and all your permanents you own into your library and draw 7 cards, and then your life becomes 20. So that costs 5 mana to come out. So if you're about to lose a game, and that can happen to me quite a lot, if I've got this card out, that could be fun. So it's a wee kind of switcheroo. Yeah, you're taking me out of the game, but you're not really. I kind of get a wee moment to maybe stay in the game. But yeah, I have to start all over again. Then we have a Swift Boots. Costs 2 mana, costs 1 to attach. Quick creature has hexproof and haste. So yeah, basically, targeted spells towards my creature means that they kind of don't really work. They would have to target the boots before they would target my creature. Then we have a Friend Dynamo for some extra mana. Just a mana rock, costs 4, gives me 3 mana. Should never really play a mana rock that gives you less than what you pay. When I say less than what you pay, you're paying 4, but you get 3 back that are colourless. So it's a bit like, as I say, it's hard to say yes, it's a good card, and hard to say no, it's not a good card. But it's a bit like this. So Soul Ring, pay 1, get 2. So you get what I mean. You're getting a wee bit of value out of it. So that's for some extra ramp to help your deck out. But then I've also got a Gilded Lotus. But that also gives, the difference with this is it's 5 mana, gives me 3 of any colour. So I just use it for black. So that's the artifacts in the deck. So then we'll go to we'll leave the creatures to last, but things that help the deck out. So we have a Diabolic Tutor. It's 4 mana, it's 2 colours, 2 black. Search your library for a card, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. So yeah, so Tutor, get one of your main key cards, like the Mesmeric Cob or the Basalt Monolith, and then game starts to kind of help you out. Then we have a Demonic Tutor for 1 and a. Both of these are sorceries. It's 1 and a black, and same effect. Search for a card, shuffle your library. So yeah, really good to get your pieces, your key pieces. Then we have Beseech a Queen. So, Beseech a Queen is 3 black or 6 colourless. Search for a card for however many lands you control. So, if I have, say, 3 lands, I can go and search for a Result Monolith or any card that costs 3 mana. So yeah, really not bad, but I have to reveal it and then put it in my hand. So kind of have to show it to everybody at the table, but sometimes it's not the card I go for. Any cards with X in them you can't get from that, I'm pretty sure. Then we have another tutor effect card, which is Final Parting. Final Parting, search for 2 cards, put one into your hand and the other one into your graveyard, and then shuffle this card into your graveyard. Shuffle this card into your library. So I'll search for a card and then I'll put that card into my hand and the other one into the grave. Now I'll explain when I go to the creatures why that is and the reason for that. And then that again, it's a sorcery. So then I use Fortuitous Find. Choose one or both. Return a target artifact from your graveyard to your hand. Return a target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. So this allows me to then return an artifact that maybe's been, taken off the battlefield from me. Also allows me to return a creature. So it's a Konrad effect. Nice wee card. If that card leaves the deck, leaves the graveyard at any point, Konrad will hit you. We also run a Dark Ritual. It costs 1 mana, gives you 3 black mana to spend. Dark Ritual, as you see, it says Interrupt. Now, Interrupt is what they call instant instead. It's an instant card, so instead of being a sorcery, it's an instant. So instants can be casted at any time, and that allows me to spend that mana. Then we have a Torment of Hellfire. So it's almost it's 2 black plus X. So basically what that means is just that if I pay 2 black mana, then whatever the X is, say it's 4, so 4 mana on top of that. So 4 times, repeat this process. Each opponent loses 3 lives, so in that sense they would lose 12, or that player sacks that amount of permanents, so they would have to sacrifice 4 permanents, or discard 4 cards. So yeah, it's either forcing their hand to get rid of creatures, or get rid of cards out of their hand, or take the life lost. It's nice and simple. Then we have a Ritual Suit. Now that kind of works for me because there's a lot of my creatures are pretty small sometimes. So destroy all creatures with converted mana 3 or less. So what that means is anything that's a 3 mana spell that's a creature. So say for instance a Plague Crafter or a Midnight Reaper. So if either 2 of them were on the battlefield, they would have to go to the grave. So yeah, really good card. Also destroys the opponent's stuff as well if they've got stuff that's small as well. And then we've got an Extinguate. So again, it's an X spell where it's 2 black plus X. Each opponent loses X life and I gain X life. So as I say, pay the 2 and say I tap 5 mana. That'd be 5 life for everybody to lose, and I would gain 5. So yeah, a nice wee kind of take the table down a peg. It's nice. Just recently got that. Now we'll move to enchantments. So we have Addicted of Erebos. with this deck. So that means this is kind of synergistic to the deck as well. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent has to sacrifice a creature. So that's, I lose a creature, you lose one too. This also has flash, so that can be cast at any time. It's a bit like an instant, so it's a really good card. Then we have a Whip Erebos, so creatures you control have lifelink. It also has an ability, it costs 4 mana to play this card, 2 colourless and 2 black. It costs 2 colourless and 2 black. To tap a card, return a target creature from your graveyard. It gains haste. Exile it at the beginning of your next end step. So what's going to happen is that creature will leave, and I can only activate this at a sorcery speed. So it can only be done on my turn. So when that creature then leaves the battlefield, it hits the grave and then it exiles. If that's wrong, please leave me a note. But as far as I know, that's what happens with that card. But yeah, it's mainly in there for the lifelink part. Don't have many ways of gaining life. Then we have a black market. Whenever a creature dies, you put a charge counter on it. So what you would do is, say, for instance, if a creature of yours dies, what normally we do is, if a creature dies, that creature goes to the grave, you put 1 on it. Now, any other creatures die, it just keeps ticking up. So I could have 12 on this, right? So whenever this, at the beginning, whenever a creature dies, put a charge counter on black market. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, add this mana to your mana pool. So basically it's giving me black mana. So I could use, say Conrad's died. Now if Conrad's died and I've got to pay an extra 2 to cast him, because that's part of the commander tax, extra 2 mana to cast him, so that cost me 7. So I could use the 7 off that, but then still have my lands, plus a wee bit extra to cast other stuff onto the battlefield. So really good. So it can go out of control and become a way that if Conrad's out, I can use that mana and put it into the ability of Conrad for 6. So everybody would mill the top 6 cards of the library. So yeah, really quite a good card for this deck. I've had it up at 26, which shows you how much it can be fun, and that was mainly because somebody was playing tokens in their decks and they were all 1/1s, and I'll explain how that happened with that. So I also recently put this card in. This is Phyrexian Arena. At the beginning of your upkeep, draw a card and lose 1 life. Now, it's just a bit of extra card draw. It costs 3 mana, 1 colourless and 2 black to cast it. So yeah, really good card. It's an enchantment every turn. It's an opportunity. Then we have Soren Markov. So Soren Markov is a planeswalker. So he costs 3 colourless and 3 black. Soren Markov starts at 4. If you uptick him, so if I was uptick him to 6, I would then Soren Markov deals 2 damage to target creature or player, and you gain 2 life. If I was to downtick him by 3, target player's life becomes 10. And then if I was to have him at his ultimate for -7, so -7 off him, you control the next you control target player's next turn. So if I get a chance to take somebody else's turn, and then they don't really get to choose what they play out their deck, or if I can maybe use stuff in their deck to blow up other people's stuff, then it's really good. Then we have Liliana Vest. Liliana Vest is a 5-mana planeswalker. She costs 3 colours and 2 black. So her +1 is target player discards a card. So player discards a card and it's a creature, that's some value. Plus it's one less card in their hand. Can -2, search for a card and put it to top of my library. So it's almost a bit like a tutor, and then it means that I get that card in my next turn. Unless somebody mills me. And then -8, put all creatures from all graveyards onto the battlefield under your control. So I've never managed to get that, but so if any of my creatures are in the grave, they leave the grave with Konrad, they enter my battlefield. Now that doesn't, obviously that effect doesn't then happen on the opponent's creatures leaving the grave. It's only my graveyard that affects. But as I say, if those creatures then die on my turn, then it's, if somebody does a board wipe of some sort, then all that damage is going to go to the graveyard with Konrad. Then we have Liliana Dreadhorde General. She's a 6-mana planeswalker, 4 colourless and 2 black. She has a static ability. Whenever a creature you control dies, draw a card. So, nice wee added bonus, especially if you've got a sack outlet. Plus, she starts at 6 at her starting. +1, create a 2/2 zombie creature token. And then -4, each opponent sacrifices 2 creatures. So if I sacrifice, well, each player sacrifices 2 creatures. So I sacrifice 2 creatures, Konrad trigger, draw 2 cards. That could be my zombie that I'm getting rid of, for all I know. Zombie, if it's a zombie token, will hit the graveyard and then exile. So just for anybody that didn't know that, it's really good. Then our -9 ability is really good. I've a couple of times I've missed it due to misplays, but each opponent chooses a permanent they control, and each permanent type it's sacrifice the rest. So they choose a permanent and then they sacrifice the rest. So really good. So it's almost a board wipe. So you get to keep one thing and then see what happens. So now we'll move on to the creatures in the deck. So we get Midnight Reaper. Midnight Reaper's a zombie, and whenever a non-token creature dies, you lose 1 life and draw a card. So it's just some draw effect, and obviously I lose life, but you know I get to draw cards off it. So it's stabilising card, because your life total in Commander is 40 at the beginning. So if that happens early in the game, it allows me maybe to draw some cards. So yeah, really good card. Sorry about the wobble in the camera. Having to use an iPad, but it's not too bad. So then we have Plaguecrafter. When Plaguecrafter enters the battlefield, each player sacrifices a planeswalker or a creature. Those who can't discard a card. So Plaguecrafter comes in. Sometimes, say for instance, I've got the Midnight Reaper out, I sack the Plaguecrafter to itself, goes to the graveyard. If I have the Konrad out, or if I have that out, I get the ability to draw some cards. So yeah, not a bad card, just a wee removal for some people. And then we've got a Murderous Rider. Now, as you see, Murderous Rider has a swift end on the side of him. So destroy target creature or planeswalker and lose 2 life. So I would lose 2 life, but in the event of that, I get to destroy a creature, then it goes on exile, and if I've got the mana, I can pay 3 mana and 2 black. Now it also costs the same for that instant. If I have that then I can play the card, but Murderous Rider's slightly different from any card in my deck. So he has lifelink, he's a 2/3, and when he dies, he goes to the bottom of my library. So he never really sees the graveyard. but when he dies, he goes to the bottom. So kind of slightly different. Don't get much effect off him, but I get the destroy a target creature or a planeswalker that's a problem on the board. Then we have Yawgmoth, Thran of Phyrexia, if I pronounced that right, hopefully. It's a human cleric, so protection from humans. It's quite funny. So you can pay 1 life, sacrifice another creature you control, put a -1/-1 upon 1 creature, and then draw a card. So I could do that to my creatures or an opponent's. So if I want to get rid of some of the opponent's cards, I can pay into it, draw cards, put the -1s on it, and kill their creature. So yeah, really, really quite a dangerous card. But he also has the 2 black mana, discard a card and proliferate. So what proliferate is if my planeswalker is on, say she's starting at 6 and I have her down at 4. Yeah, have her down at, no, say she's started at 6 and I've -4 on her, so she's down at 2. So proliferate, what that is pay the 2 black mana. So pay 2 and then tick the mana up, tick that up, or a creature which has +1/+1s on it. So if a creature, say for instance, this creature's a 2/3, if it had a +1/+1 on it, you could up that as well, so it would go up as well. So it's not just 1 card, it can be multiple cards from paying into that, which is really decent. It's not a light card. Then we have Raya Foster Lockqueen. Whenever Raya Foster Lockqueen or another black creature enters the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life and I gain 1. So she also has an ability, so I can tap her, sack the creature, goes to the grave and draw a card. So yeah, she's really good. Some draw effect again in the deck, it really helps. Then we have a Butcher of Malak here. So it's a 7 mana card. It's a flying vampire. Whenever Butcher of Malak or another creature you control dies, each opponent sacrifices a creature. So what I'm really trying to do is make people lose stuff off the battlefield for the Konrad trigger to happen. So yeah, really good card. Not many people like that card. Now, a lot of people build their decks around this mechanic, especially Konrad, but I didn't want my Konrad to be the same as everybody else's. So we have a Stingray Bimp. So he is a 3 mana card, so he's 2 colourless and 1 black. He's a 1/2, and whenever Stingray Bimp deals combat damage, destroy that target creature. So really what that is it's actually what they call Death Touch on a creature. This was before they brought Death Touch in as a keyword. But also, if you notice there, it has Dredge 5. So if that creature is in my grave, instead of drawing a card on my turn, I Dredge 5, return this card to my hand. So this is my draw card basically. So I draw this card instead of drawing a card from the top of the library. So I put the top 5 cards in my library into the grave. So for Konrad, that's really effective. So as I say, a lot of people will build a Konrad deck around the dredge mechanic to have a quick, fast game. Now, I play in what we call a casual store at Comic Crazy. There's not many high-powered level decks in the store. There's quite a few, but you know, I can hold my own sometimes with them for this deck. Really depends on who gets the fastest play starting off in the game. Then we have a Rivlin Chupacabra. When Rivlin Chupacabra enters the battlefield, target opponent destroy target creature opponent controls. So it's just another removal. It costs 4 mana, 2 colourless and 2 black to cast that. Then we have a Soren Nemesis. I can't pronounce that properly, I don't think. When it enters the battlefield, choose a player. Soren Nemesis power and toughness is equal to the number of cards in that opponent's graveyard, and whenever a chosen player puts or plays a card or casts a card from the top of their library. Whenever the chosen player casts a spell, that player puts the top card into the graveyard. So it's again forcing that person, if they cast a spell, they put a card in the grave. So if that opponent has 10 cards in the grave, it's a 10/10. So pretty decent with the extra abilities on it. Then we have our lovely boy Gary, which is Grey Merchant of Asphodel. So what happens here is Grey Merchant of Asphodel costs 3 mana plus 2 black. So what we're going to explain here is, so if we have Konrad out, a Liliana out, and this guy. So each card has a black mana symbol on it up here. So mana symbol being the skull, the black skull. So the swamp symbol. So when he comes in, each opponent loses life equal to devotion. So the devotion would be here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that'd be 7. So if we're sitting at a table with 4 people at it, 3 people would lose 7 life each. Then that means I would gain 21 life due to that. So they all lose 7, but I gain 21. I've got maths right there. That's really good. If I've got maths right. If I've not, please correct me. So then we've got a Knight of Ironborn Legion. So he's 1 mana. He's 1 black mana. But when he comes in, if I have 3 black mana, I can give him Death Touch and a +3/+3. So if I have that, I can't swing with it, but it's only until end of turn. But the main process here is to get the +1/+1s on him. If I'm able to swing out with it in the next turn, I pay 3 mana, the 2 and 2 colourless and 1 black, and then I'm able to deal damage. Now if I'm able to deal 4 damage to somebody, I get a +1 counter that stays on him. So he can become his own big boy. Good fun. Then we have a Archfiend of Depravity. He's flying. He's a 5/4 and he costs 5 mana to come out. 3 colours and 2 black. At the beginning of each opponent's end step, that player chooses up to 2 creatures he or she controls, then sacrifices the rest. So really that means that they're only able to keep 2, and I get to hold the board a wee bit for a while. So yeah, it's really good. So whenever it comes to their end step, they get to go down. Now I was explaining earlier on about tokens. Now Massacre Girl, what happens with Massacre Girl is when she comes in, she costs 5 mana, and then each creature gets a -1/-1. So if 1 creature dies, that then means it ticks up to 2, so that's -2/-2. So for each creature that then dies, the +1s go up. So if 5 creatures die, that creature would die. because it'd be below the limit for the life of that card. It's toughness. So, as I said, that person had 20 tokens out at the time, and then obviously it cleared the board, and it allowed my black market to then have that multiple amount of mana on it, that then allowed me to tick that into this, and I also had the Mind Crank out. So that meant I went infinite, really, on each turn to basically win the game. So a really, really good card, fun, nice wee different way of winning. Not so much the mill strategy that I would aim for, but it meant that then those creatures died, the Mind Crank ticked it over to allow, because each opponent lost life, those cards went in the grave, then the infinite mill loop started to happen. So yeah, a lot of fun. Then we have Kirik, Son of Yawgmoth. Now, I originally started this deck out to be this kind of deck, but then moved away to Syr Konrad to be different, because I couldn't quite get my head around this. But he is 4 mana plus 3 black. As you'll notice, hopefully, his symbols are slightly different. Now, what that is that's Phyrexian mana, so for each one of those black pips, you'll lose 2 life if you can't play the black mana for it. So I would lose 6 life, I'd pay 4 mana plus 6 to cast him. So I could cast him on turn 4 by paying the 6 life. And then for each black creature you cast, Kirik gets a +1/+1, and he also has lifelink. So yeah, it can be quite a vicious card. So he gets you the life back, but also takes away. But other creatures you control, if he's out, then you can pay the Phyrexian for their cards. So the black pips, the skull symbols, is basically what you would then use to cast creatures along with the colourless mana. So you can't use the pips for the colourless mana, but you can use them for the skull mana, the swamp symbol. Then we have Dread Presence. Whenever you put a swap into the battlefield, he costs 4 mana. It came out 3 colours, 1 black. But whenever a swamp enters the battlefield, I can lose 1 life and draw a card, or Dread Presence deals 2 damage to any target, and also I gain 2 life from it. So it's not a bad card. I could blow up a wee kind of token or something, or something that's a 2/2, then see what happens. Then we have Gifted Aetherborn. He's a Death Touch and a lifelinker. So he's a 2/3, 2 mana to cost to come out. It's just a simple card to help the board, kill something, also gives me some lifelink. Nice simple card. Not much synergy in that card. Then we have the Zulapont Cutthroat. So whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So again, it's about getting almost the Konrad trigger in a way for that card. So then we've got a Doom Whisperer, which costs 5 mana, 3 colours, 2 black. It's flying. It also has trample. So what trample means is, if, say for instance, you have a Zulapont Cutthroat, not a Zulapont Cutthroat, because that doesn't have flying. So another creature which can block a flyer. So if I swing with that and you block with that, now he's only blocking with a 5/4, and I'm swinging with a 6/6. So what he's doing, he's soaking up 4 damage from that card, which leaves him with 2. So what that means is then you basically get to deal that opponent 2 damage from that trample effect. So yeah, it's really quite a good card, but it also has pay 2 life and surveil 2. Now that's really good with Konrad, so if I'm on a very high life total, I could start milling myself by paying 2 life until I get to see the cards that I really want, that allow me to maybe win the game. But that then also really works with this creature, the Villas. So when Villas is also kind of one of those cards that's versatile as well, that whenever I pay 2 life, I get to draw cards. So Villas' ability is whenever you lose life, you draw that many cards. But he also has, if you pay 1 black mana, lose 2 life, and give a -1/-1 to a target creature until end of turn. So give a -1 to a creature, you know, but you get to draw 2 cards. But if you have this card out and that card out, now I know they cost very high mana. One costs 5, another one costs 8 mana. If you have the way of casting the extra planar lens, then that shouldn't be a big problem for getting these 2 cards out at the same time as each other, because you've got double mana. And what I maybe forgot to tell you about the extra planar lens is the reason for playing the Snow-Covered Swamp is if an opponent controls a basic swamp, their swamps don't tap for double, mine do. But if they have a Snow-Covered Swamp, that Snow-Covered Swamp of theirs also taps for 2. So it can help a table out, but it can also take away from a table, that extra planar lens. But as I say, these 2 kind of synergistically work with each other. They draw cards for each other. And even if an opponent swings at me, I would probably never block with the Villas. I'd just take the card draw with the Villas. So yeah, it's really quite a good card with that. So that's a good synergy in the deck. Then we have a Razaketh from the Flawless Blood 8. He costs 8 mana as well. Pay 2 life. He also works with these cards as well. But sacrifice another creature, search your library for a card and then put that in your hand. Then shuffle your library. So it's a tutor effect. But you have to lose a creature to be able to get the tutor and lose 2 life. So it's almost like it's got synergy, it's got sacrifice with the deck, with the Konrad. Hopefully it's not just Konrad you got out, otherwise you're just keeping the 8/8 out for flying and trample. Then we have a Cavalier of Night. When Cavalier of Night enters the battlefield, he costs 5 mana. When he enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice a creature to destroy target creature an opponent controls. Now, also when he dies, you may bring a card back with converted mana 3 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. So it has synergy with the Konrad. So it goes, but bring back another creature from the graveyard. So yeah, it really works with the deck. It's a fun card. Then we have Haunted Hightower. Haunted Hightower costs 6 mana. It's a flying lifelink. Whenever a card is discarded, whenever Haunted Hightower attacks, defending player discards a card. Whenever a card is put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, put a +1/+1 counter on Haunted Hightower. So Haunted Hightower can be quite a scary card. So whether it's an instant, a land, or anything goes to the grave, or a creature, or an enchantment, anything goes to the grave. You imagine with my mill strategy, that creature could get quite big on the opponent's steps. Then we have Blood Artist, a card I recently just picked up from one of the mystery booster sets. He's a vampire. Whenever he costs two mana to come in, he's 1 and a black, and whenever another creature you control dies, target player loses 1 life and gains 1 life. I gain 1 life, sorry. So they lose 1 and I gain 1. So that's target player. Unlike the Zulapont, it's targeted to a player. So yeah, it's a good card. You know, when stuff dies in my deck, which very much so does happen. And then we have God Eternal Bontu. He's Menace, so creature has to be bought by 2 or more creatures. He costs 5 mana, 3 and 2 black, and whenever Haunt High Tower enters the battlefield, may sacrifice any number of permanents. So as you know, I like to sacrifice in this deck. So if I say sacrifice 3 creatures, with that I draw 3 cards, and whenever God Eternal Bontu dies, he goes the 3rd card from the top of my deck. So he doesn't go to the grave unless he is milled to the grave or put to the grave by me having to discard or something like that. So yeah, it's very synergistic to this deck again. It's a fun card. I really enjoy that card. Then we have a Nightmare Shepherd, which is 4 mana, costs 2 black plus 2 colours. Whenever another non-token creature dies, you may bring back that creature as a 1/1 with all its abilities. So it comes back as a 1/1, but it comes back with all of its abilities. So, for instance, yeah, I get the trigger effect, but that card then leaves the graveyard. I get the trigger effect again from Konrad, and say for instance Gary comes back. Now Gary comes back, he's still got his pips. He's a 1/1 by this time because of this card, but he's also a nightmare in addition to the type. So the nightmare being is that Gary's then going to ping you for 4 damage because there's 4 pips on this here. And if Konrad's in, that's 6. So each opponent loses 6, and I gain 18. So if we're playing at a 4-player table, you know, is that right? 18? Yeah, 12 had 6. Some bad maths. So yeah, a fun card to have in the deck. Then we have Point of a Blight. It's got Extort on it. It costs 6 mana to come out. Now, as you may see, it has the white and black symbol because it's in the asterisk. No, not asterisk. It's in the subtext of the card. It's not actually in the main text of the card. So, because it's in that, it doesn't mean that it can't be in the deck. It can be in the deck because it's something that was in a set that where Extort was important to black and white. So what Extort does is whenever I pay into that Extort, each opponent loses 1 life and I gain that much life to each opponent that lose life that way. So if I extorted once into that by paying 1 mana, then basically each player loses a life, and I'll gain, if I'm at a pod of 4, I'll gain 3 life. But as you may notice, other creatures you control gain extort. So whenever I bring a creature in, I extort and get some life loss out of it. So it's a good wee card. Then we have Rivlin Chupacabra. Don't think I pronounced that properly, but whenever it dies, it comes in, and it's 3 mana, 3 colourless, 1 black. When it dies, choose one or more. Each one must target a different player. So, target player sacrifice a creature. Target player discards 2 cards. And target opponent loses 5 life. So, each person gets to have something at the table. So, it's very much a commander card because it hits more than one person. So, yeah, it's a good card. And when it leaves, it's really, really fun. So a couple of these new cards that have come out recently in the Ikoria set is, and I won't even attempt to pronounce the name because I'm just getting used to it. So it costs 3 colourless and 1 black. It's a creature nightmare, and if I cast it for the mutate cost, which is 2 colourless and 1 black, it's got Death Touch. And whenever this creature mutates, each opponent loses X life and you gain X life. So the more times it mutates, the better. So yeah, and the more times it mutates, the more life it's lost. It's pretty decent. Kind of thought it was a fun card. So Hunted Nightmare, it's another nightmare card. Loving the nightmares. So it costs 3 mana, 1 colourless and 2 black. It's Menace, and whenever it enters the battlefield, the target opponent puts a Death Touch counter on their creature. So if somebody's a bit of a problem at the table, give another opponent a creature which they can swing out with that's got Death Touch, and maybe the opponent that's a problem will block. And then, yeah, you're kind of getting rid of somebody else's creature, but they maybe not want to. They don't really care about losing it. But you get rid of the problem card that's on the table. So yeah, it's almost like what they call a bounty on it. And then we've got Cavern Whisperer, which is 4 colourless and 1 black. It's also again another nightmare. Loving the art on it. So it costs 3 colourless and 1 black with Menace. It's a mutate ability, sorry, that is. It's Menace. Whenever this creature mutates, each opponent discards a card. So I'm trying to get as much stuff to go to the graveyards with Konrad as possible. So yeah, it kind of helps. But here's the doozies in the deck. So I never really tried to cast these 2 creatures, but they both have an effect on them which really helps the game. So we have Ulamog, and whenever you cast this spell, destroy a target permanent. Now he's got Indestructible, he's a 10/10, he costs 11 colourless mana to come out. Now you can understand why I never really want to cast him because he costs 11 mana. But he also has a Annihilator on him, so he's Annihilator 4. So whenever I swing at a person, and that opponent then has to choose permanents they control to sacrifice. Now it's their choice what they sacrifice. It could be a land, it could be anything at all on their board. So yeah, it's the Annihilator triggers. So if he swings at you, he's indestructible. But the main context that I'm aiming for is when he goes to the grave, if I mill that card into my grave, or if that card goes to my grave through a discard effect, if it's in my hand, then all the creatures go from my graveyard, all the cards from my graveyard get shuffled back into my deck. And then we get the Konrad trigger. So that's where the Basalt Monolith and the Mesmeric Orb come into play with that. Now, as I say, we've got that, and then we've got Kozilek. Now, whenever he comes in, he costs 10 mana, 10 colourless mana. As you see, again, it's a very high mana cost, but Kozilek enters, you draw 4 cards. He's also got the Annihilator as well, of 4, but he also shuffles stuff into your deck. So what happens is you have these cards. These go to the grave all the time. But basically, because you're tapping that for 3 mana and floating it and untapping it, you end up with an infinite loop unless somebody can stop it. So yeah, that pretty much is how this deck works. On that effect is an infinite loop. But yeah, somebody has a split second or a destroy artifact, or destroys your commander, that stops it. So yeah, it's very fun game. So yeah, I hope you liked the video. Please leave a comment. Please subscribe if you like the video. I'm very new to this. Please leave any comments you can. If there's anything you would like to see. But once I get a better setup for this, I'm not got the best setup here. I've got an iPad and a kind of half decent I'm trying to think what you call it now, tripod type thing, to help me film this. As I say, I'm very new to it. If you liked the video, I really appreciate the likes and the subscriptions. Suggestions of anything that maybe I could do. The only thing I won't be doing, and I will state this, is I won't be doing giveaways of the pre-release stuff. Like nothing is a giveaway. I can't afford to give stuff away. The likes of pre-release arena codes, I give them to a friend who does live streams on Arena, and he gives them out as almost like prizes, but kind of giveaways more than anything. Maybe if he's played somebody and he had a really good game, he gives them away. So yeah, unfortunately, that's the kind of the way that happens. I don't play Arena. If I ever play Arena, then obviously I might change my mind. I might give it away then if I play Arena against somebody that then is one of my subscribers on here or something. But I'm not saying never, but at this moment in time, no, is the answer to that. So I do apologise if that's something that you would have liked, but my aim is not to give stuff away. Don't make a lot of money off of this, and I don't make any money off of this actually, but you know, I still have to work a job. This is just a hobby. So as I say, thanks again, and good night.